Well, hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining today's VetNet Scaling with Purpose. I'm Linda Nellis. I'm the Alumni Service and Engagement Coordinator at the Daniello Institute for Veterans and Military Families. And we're hosting this VetNet because we know that growing a business really does bring its own unique challenges. And that's why we've invited two very inspiring IVMF alumni to share their journeys, lessons learned, and some practical advice. So we have Dr. Gigi Hamilton, owner and founder of Personal Enrichment, Counseling and Consulting Services. And she will start us off by sharing a little bit about her businesses, some insights and challenges that she has worked through. And we will then hear from Dr. Stephanie Bochnevitz, owner and CEO of Intrastellar Solutions. Following their stories, Melissa Bird, Associate Director of Entrepreneurship Strategic Partnerships and Programs at the IVMF, will provide a brief overview of our entrepreneurship programs, and she'll lead what we know will be a very engaging roundtable discussion. So, Dr. Gigi Hamilton, it is all yours.
All right. Hello, everyone, or shall I say konnichiwa, as I am here coming from hailing in Japan, Iwakuni, Japan to be exact, at 3 a.m. in the morning. And so as I woke up to prepare for this wonderful experience, first of all, I'd love to say how honored I am as an entrepreneur to be here to be able to speak with everyone today. And I was just talking with Melissa and everyone, Linda, and just talking about, and Cassandra, how important it is as an entrepreneur to have your name mentioned in rooms that you're not even in. So the fact that I'm over here in Japan and I get a message like, hey, can you come and speak to this amazing group of entrepreneurs that are veterans? You don't even have to ask me twice, number one, but it was just a great, I mean, I love it when I get emails like that because people are thinking about the impact you've made on them and how you touch people's lives. So I just want to share that because that is so powerful and so profound. Where do I begin? As I got up this morning at 2 a.m. to meet with you all, so because I didn't know I was going to talk about this, I want to talk about the shy, very quiet freshman, high school freshman girl that I was who was afraid to talk to people. And they're probably gasping over there because I'm such an entrepreneur and an extrovert and I talk to everyone. Um, my life has been impacted so much by my dad and all of his, I call him daddyisms because he's no longer here with us, but he had all of these sayings. And they've led me to be so steadfast as an entrepreneur. For example, never take no for an answer. There's always a way. And when I tell you that one you have to keep in your pocket all the time because you're going to get a lot of no's. And I served in the Army as a counselor, and I was a therapist there. Had my business now for 18 years. And actually, you know what? 2026 is going to be 19 years. So we're coming up on some good stuff. But let me tell you, the roller coaster ride of successes and I call them hills and valleys because that's what life gives you. It's full of hills and valleys. And when you're on top of that hill financially, successfully, because you're doing what your passion is, you just live and breathe that. And I forgot to ask how much time we have, so I'll try to keep it quick. I'm so sorry about that. Hey, because I am a storyteller, so I'll be here forever. Because what I love to do is make sure you understand that when you sign up to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have some challenges. And what you have to do is know what your arsenal, what your toolkit is to help you navigate that. So, I think my first experience with IBMS was VWise. And VWise is the women's program. And when I went to the conference for VWise, I just stood there in awe, like somebody thought about us like this to honor us. They made us feel so special, so important. And the whole mission was, we want to see you succeed. We want to see you succeed. And I drank the Kool-Aid after that. I'm like, what else can I sign up for? So I can't tell you how many people I send to IVMF. And here I'm working with Marines and Navy, and I love it when they come and see me and they've never heard of the program. And you have all understood the transition from getting out of the military and thinking, what do I do next? My identity is changing. I know I could probably do something because I'm passionate about it, but how do I make it grow? How do I sustain it? How do I do this when the chapter of that page is blank? That's scary. Well, IVMF, they give you the tools to help you fill in the chapters and to really navigate that. So I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to stay here forever. But I do want to end with this and just talk a little bit about as I was coming and drinking the Kool-Aid and joining every program. I did VWise. I go to Edge every year. Don't know if I can make it this year since I'm in Japan. Um, but every time I go to Edge, it's like a family reunion. Um, I can't wait to see everybody, and I'm a hugger and all of that, but it really is a family reunion. But last year, I almost didn't attend. And I almost didn't attend because I had a 3-year streak where, well, prior to the 3-year streak, my business was just thriving. I don't know what wonderful winning streak I was on, but as soon as a contract ended, a new one began. And then all of a sudden they started to dry up and they started to come infrequent. Then it got to the point that they were come even more infrequent and it got so sparse that my revenue was drying up. So I almost didn't attend Edge last year because I was like, I'm losing it. I can't handle what's happening financially. I don't know what to do. I guess I need a job. I don't know what I need to do. So I end up going anyway. And it was the absolute best thing I ever did. And I'll tell you why. It was a place where I could go and be vulnerable and have that conversation because being an entrepreneur is a very lonely place. You're going to talk to people are going to see your successes and just revel in that. But you're not going to be so quick to talk about when you're struggling because you don't know what to do. You got to figure it out. You don't have time to say, hey, world, I'm having a problem, because that can also impact your business from a negative perspective. So I go to Edge and I meet with the people that are there who are, like I said, like family. And ultimately, I'm just honest. I'm struggling. This is really difficult. I don't know what to do. And if you've ever had that in your own personal life where someone just says, I got you, I got your back. What do you need? Let's help you. Let's pull out the black book. You remember black books back in the day? Let's pull out the black book and see who we need to connect you with. And I left there on a high because it just helped so much. And what you want is, so when I go back to Charlotte, when I would go back home from Edge, it just made me feel like I'm not alone as an entrepreneur. Any twists and turns that may be there, I have someone I can pick up the phone and call. And so there's so many different programs there. I've done the Acceleration Challenge. I've been to EBV, which is Entrepreneur Boot Camp. I've been to EBV Accelerate. Let's see, you name it, I've done it because, like I said, I drink the Kool-Aid and it works. You just need to know how to stay connected and tell people what it is you need. And I love even the program that's called Strive. Say, for instance, you want to do a business and you're just not sure what to do. Go there and you get to ideate. You get to figure it out. You don't have to have all the answers. So I'm just going to leave it there because I love this stuff. I can talk about it all day, but I want to go ahead and pass the mic. But first of all, I'm honored to be here for you. I'd love to be a support for you if you have any questions. And thank you all just so much for inviting me. And I'm passing the mic along. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And Stephanie, we would love to hear from you now.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Loud
Yes.
and clear. Yep.
Okay, perfect. My name's Dr. Stephanie Bochnowitz, and thankfully it's not 3 a.m. here because I would not look as good as Gigi. So I appreciate her enthusiasm and energy. That's amazing. I have only been in business for a year and a half. April will be 2, and it has been very fast for me. I got my doctorate August of last year, and then that's when we got our first contract. And now we're on 6 contracts. We're looking to acquire another business with everything going on in the government. It has opened my eyes with looking at different revenue streams. So it has been fun and it has been very fast. And I have learned a lot, and a lot of it, all of my knowledge really has came from IVMF and all the resources, just like Gigi said, and networking has been key.
It looks like are you all set, Stephanie? Okay.
Perfect. So I will jump in. Thank you both for sharing your stories. I greatly appreciate it. I think one thing that you've both accomplished, whether or not you will mention it or I will, is that you've demonstrated resilience. You've demonstrated innovation, whether you've been in business for 19 years, whether you've been in business for only a year or two. I think that is a testimony to your resilience, to the innovation that's required for entrepreneurs to be successful and to be so powerful in the business community. So it doesn't matter if you've only been in business for a short time, if you've been in business for a long time, you have that experience and that resilience within you to be a successful entrepreneur and to navigate the waters as they come and to be agile enough to make adjustments where you best see fit. And your experiences both with the different programs that we have at IVMF highlight exactly why we continue to expand upon the offerings that we have to support veterans and military spouses at every stage of their entrepreneurial journey. So I just threw a ton of links into the chat, and I'm going to talk through these various programs. And sorry, I forgot to hit Control Enter on all of them to make new lines. Just bear with me. Zoom is a wild experience, apparently. But wanted to chat first about Military Founders Lab. So these are a couple of the programs that we are currently recruiting for, getting ready to launch a new cohort with. Military Founders Lab is designed specifically for veterans and military spouses who are building innovation driven, high growth companies. You're still in that building process. You've already seen some success, but you're still looking for a few key foundational items. You've got the most of the foundation ready, but you're looking to really launch and get it wildly moving. So this program is all virtual, 10 weeks, provides intense support for those who are looking to scale rapidly, looking to access capital, looking to compete in various sectors. For our new cohort starting in January, we're adding a nonprofit track as well. So for those who are building and growing a nonprofit, we'll have some specific programming for you as well. So if you're working in a startup with significant growth potential, this is really that mentorship, networking, resource, and education opportunity that you're looking for to help you compete at the highest level. So applications are open for Military Founders Lab. The next cohort will start in January. And again, it's 10 weeks entirely virtual. So that is a no-cost program as well. So you'll meet a couple times a week, once with a larger group, so everyone that's in the cohort, and then another time or two during the week with a smaller, more directive cohort. So it could be Latinx founders. It could be those in the skilled trades industry. It could be those in a nonprofit. So you'll select a track of preference when you register or when you apply for the Military Founders Lab program, and then you'll go from there. Shifting over to one that has been mentioned already today, the Veteran Edge Conference. This is, I'm not going to say it's my baby, but kind of my baby. I've been with the Veteran Edge Conference. I've been working on it in some way, shape, or form for its entire existence. This is year 9 for Veteran Edge. I started out working with a corporate partner of the IVMF, so I've seen it from the funder side. I attended one year as an entrepreneur, military spouse entrepreneur, and was a participant one year, which was a wild place to be for me, who's used to being behind the registration desk. I was now in front of the registration desk. And I've been working with the IVMF on this for the last few years. So Veteran Edge will take place in March, the beginning of March, the 4th through the 6th in Dallas, Texas. And this is such an important gathering, as Gigi mentioned, for our community. So this is for actively scaling or ready to scale businesses. So you have seen great success. We'll see people who have been on the Inc. 5000 list multiple times. We'll see people that scale very rapidly, maybe in the last year or two, and are ready to do more, but still need that connection. They have different challenges that now that their business has seen some success. So really the Veteran Edge Conference will have that education, will have that networking and connection with resources to help transform your business as you continue to grow and scale. We'll cover topics that are in critical growth. We'll talk about exit strategy. We'll talk about acquisitions. We'll talk about, company culture and leadership, because as your business grows, some of the methods that you used when you were still considered maybe a little more nascent or a startup organization need to evolve. Have you evolved as well? This is that great opportunity to really be vulnerable. You're in a community of veteran military spouse entrepreneurs with shared experiences. They're receiving growing pains as much as you're receiving growing pains. And if you are open and honest about them, you're going to find that you are not alone by any stretch of the imagination. There's probably someone that has already been there, done that with what you're experiencing, and they can offer you some lessons learned, best practices. Maybe don't do it this way next time, because that hindsight is 2020 and you find out some really great pieces of information when you're a little more vulnerable about it. But then you can also share your successes. Maybe someone else is having a challenge that you've been through and you want to let them know how you can help and how you can mentor and network them. Veteran Edge is a great opportunity for that. Veteran Edge applications are open now. We do have early bird pricing running through the end of November. So if you are accepted into Veteran Edge and register, it would be $400 to participate in Veteran Edge. That is one of only 2 programs that we have where we actually charge a registration fee. So it's $400 to participate at Veteran Edge. Again, that's March 4th through the 6th. After December 1st, around December 1st, pricing goes up to $500. So we encourage you to get those applications in before. If your application is in before November 30th, you would be granted that early bird pricing. So even if you're still waiting on us to look through things because our tryptophan hangover is still going on after Thanksgiving, you would still be grandfathered into that early bird pricing as long as your application is in before the deadline. The Veteran Edge is a great opportunity. And what you'll also see at Veteran Edge is the Vet 100 dinner and award ceremony. So earlier today, the IVMF announced its annual Vet 100 list, and that is the 100 fastest growing veteran owned or operated companies in the country. We build this list each year through a partnership with Inc. magazine. And again, this is year number 9. So I'm really excited for 2027 as we do a big blowout for the 10th anniversary. But these are really incredible entrepreneurs who are on this list. We take the Inc. 5000 list and just pull the top 100 that are veteran owned or operated. There's no pay to play, nothing like that. If you're on the Inc. 5000 list and you happen to be one of the top 100 that are veteran owned or operated, you're on that 100. It's just as simple as that. This year, we are seeing our largest number of IVMF alumni ever on the Vet 100 list. There are 28 IVMF Entrepreneurship Program alumni who are represented on the Vet 100, and we are going to celebrate them at the end of Veteran Edge with a closing dinner and awards ceremony on Friday, March 6th. Very excited. So definitely check out the list, see if you know any of those great partners that are on there. Give them a congratulations, give them a air high five, virtual high five if you don't actually see them in person, and let them know that we are excited to celebrate them in March. Last thing that I wanted to mention from our programs, both Stephanie and Gigi mentioned the VWise program that they have participated in. So little teaser, VWise is coming up. And we are getting ready to open applications and registration on December 1st. I'm putting a lot of things on December 1st. Now that I'm thinking about that, I don't know if that was a great choice or not. We'll find out December 2nd. But our next VWise program is another milestone program for us. It will be the 30th VWise cohort, which is wildly amazing. What started in, 2011 as a grant from the SBA to produce 6 women's focused entrepreneurship programs is now going to be number 30, which is incredible. There are over 4,400 women who have successfully completed the VWise program. We travel around the country hosting this program. Our next one is going to be this spring in Atlanta. So we will be in Atlanta for the 30th. So how VWise works, again, it's for women only. So if you know a great female founder, if you are one, you know one, veteran, military spouse, partner, active duty, reserve guard, whatever, they are eligible for VWise. It is mostly focused in that startup phase of business, but we see people come from all stages of entrepreneurship business because they are so excited to get together with other female veteran founders and other female military spouse founders and just get together in a room. We will joke that it is part business conference, part church revival, because the energy in this conference is wild. It is amazing. There are 4 weeks of online learning, virtual, self-paced. You'll meet once a week with a great facilitator, and then you'll do your work on the side. And then you're going to come into Atlanta for 3 days of programming. It's $75 to register. That's your cost. You got to get yourself to and from Atlanta, but we cover your hotel while you're there, the meals during the conference, and all the programming for both phase 1 and phase 2 in person. So we try to make it as easy and remove as many barriers to entry as we can. We are a really incredible nonprofit organization. We have really amazing funders. We do our best to make our programs low to no cost. So again, Veteran Edge and VWise are the only 2 programs that have a cost associated with them for a registration fee. VWise and Military Founders Lab, 2 programs you can only take one time. So you're one and done. We got to make room for someone else to come in and learn those great things. But Veteran Edge, you can come to as many times as you are eligible and you'd like. So we encourage people to come back to Veteran Edge year over year. They can help share their lessons learned and all of this. But we see about 40% to 45% return attendees year over year for Edge. So as Gigi mentioned, it really is like a family. You're seeing a lot of the same people, but also you have the opportunity to mentor some new folks and bring some new thoughts and ideas into the fold. We've changed the agenda each year for Veteran Edge as well. So you're hopefully not seeing the same topics over and over again. Or if you are, it's because they were so well received and demanded that alumni said we need to bring them back. And here we are. So those are some of the big programs that we have going on right now. There are a dozen different programs offered by the IVMF's entrepreneurship team, programs or resources. So whether you have an idea on a napkin that you're not sure what to do with yet, or you've been on the Inc. 5000 list multiple times and are making 7, 8, 9 figures or more in your business, we have a program or resource available to you. So I encourage you to check out our website and check out any other opportunities that we have available and coming up. So I'm going to shift back and bring this conversation back a little bit more after I get off my soapbox for IVMF programs and talk a little bit more about that resilience. So when you all registered to participate today in the webinar, you had an opportunity to submit some questions that you wanted answered by our 2 amazing panelists. So I'm going to take a couple of those questions. If there are any more that you have, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll try to get to them if we can as well. But Gigi, I'm going to start with you, please, if you don't mind. So one question that came up really resonates with something that you shared earlier. Someone asked, when you're scaling, how do you actually remove yourself completely from the day-to-day operations without losing the quality that you built your reputation on? So I imagine this is definitely something you've had to navigate. You've spoken about over those 19 years. Contracts kind of keep coming in until they don't. So tell me, how has this worked for you and what tools would you recommend for others to utilize this?
Who you bring on your team is key for sure. I bring people on that are smarter than me and just have skill sets very different from mine. And so when it's time to scale, I love to be able to pass the baton over to them so I don't have to be the person that's working in the business and on the business because it is so hard to straddle both. And you need to be able to give it to someone that you can trust to do the job so you can actually focus on growth and scaling. It's tough to do. I can say that now, but it took me a long time to get there. But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Excellent. So working on the business versus working in the business, it's definitely very important who is there with you, who you're trusting with that business. So Stephanie, I'm going to shift it over to you for hopefully what feels like a natural follow-up. So what strategies have you used to transition from being in the business to running the business from a higher level? I think it's very relevant with probably your day-to-day right now, being that you're still a relatively new business who has seen really great success.
Yes, and it's similar to what Gigi said. I think having skilled people do jobs like I don't do the financial stuff. We let our CPA do that. And I don't do the technical stuff. We let the engineer do that. So I can't do it all. And I have to trust that the people have the skill set and they can do it.
That was definitely a difficult lesson for me to learn as an entrepreneur that, my title might include the letters MBA at the end, but there is no reason I should be anywhere near my business finances or taxes. That
Right.
that is not something. So outsourcing that, it's difficult. It's hard to trust that out to other people. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Um, Gigi, given your experience, someone asked about how they can scale but still stay lean with minimal employees. How have you approached the growth that you've seen without overextending your team and making sure that those right people are going to stick with you from that aspect?
Oh, so that's taking me into my putting on my leadership hat. I consider myself a transformational leader in that whoever I have on my team, my goal is to have them outgrow what we're doing, if that's even for them to get their own business and strive in a different way. So, in helping people learn, I get to learn from their strengths, but also empower them to do what they're passionate about, allows them to say, and I quote, when I ask them to do something, they're always like, "Oh, anything for you, Gigi. Just ask and you got it." Right? But that's only because they trust the process. I might even have to say, "Well, we can't get paid till the end of this contract." And they'll be willing to do it. But if you don't develop those relationships where people trust you and believe in your purpose, you're not going to get that. So just being genuine from the start is going to be the biggest success that you will have.
It's great feedback. Thank you. I think that goes back to your earlier point about that vulnerability and being very honest and truthful about what you need, what you're looking for, and it's still your business, but that doesn't mean someone else can't take it and roll with it for what you're looking to get done. Excellent. Thank you very much. Stephanie, how do you decide when to hire with the intention to scale when you may not have all of the financial resources available yet? How are you setting yourself up for success? What's guided your decision making and timing and investment in people?
For me, I think it's important to do the market research. Is there a need? Is there a lot of work out there? Because I don't want to invest in, for example, another business right now if there's not a need for it, if there's not going to be customers. So I think doing the research and then having really good employees.
Excellent. Thank you. I'm seeing that there are no additional questions yet in the chat. Don't forget, you can put one if you have one. I got plenty more, don't you worry. But wanted to just make sure I was addressing y'all's questions on the fly. But let me ask both of you this question. What specific systems or tools have been game changers for you as your business expanded? Whether that's a personal organization, helping you maintain momentum, or just kind of that back office operating system?
I'll just jump in. Just having your software that you need to scale your CRM, you need to have something where you can keep it all organized is very important. Because I'm not very organized, and you need a system to help you with that. As it relates to the numbers, the finances, you need to give that out. One of the things you'll learn in some of these IBMF programs is having a bail team. And so that's making sure that you have, what is the B for? Why can't I think of
Banker.
that at 3 o'clock in the morning? Thank
I
you.
love
Thank
you.
you.
You're
The
testing
banker.
me. Banker, accounting,
Right.
insurance, and lawyer.
That's right. You got to have your bail team. So you don't do it all. You need to have these people, and that's like your holy grail. So you need to be able to pick up the phone and have accountability on all of those places because you can't manage it all. And so you having your bail team is one of the things that makes you very successful. So I'm going to pass.
Thank you. I want to agree regarding the software. When I first started, I used an Excel spreadsheet and I quickly realized that I need much more than just that. And so I have grown away from that. And we have a big a system that has CRM. We have different apps, accounting, collaboration. We could submit any expenses like travel vouchers and stuff like that. And it has helped keep me organized and thank God I'm done with it, just having a spreadsheet, because there's no way I could have kept up with that.
It sounds like a great idea when you're getting started, like, oh, I'm not big
Right.
enough to need this. And then I feel like it very quickly can spiral. So making sure you have a plan, you've done a little research, you ask your friends that you might find, on a webinar or in a place like this or in a program, what they're using. Everyone's happy to share something that works great. They are more happy to share something that did not work great. So you could start narrowing down that list. We like to call it the veto game in our house. About, you might not know what you want for dinner, but we can tell you what we don't want for dinner, and you just narrow down the pool from there. It works the same way with software. Uh, let's pivot a little bit to your personal experiences. So Gigi, Stephanie, you both bring military experience into your entrepreneurial work. What are some of the unique strengths that you think veteran entrepreneurs bring to the table when it comes to scaling a business that they may or may not truly realize is a strength?
Stephanie, I'll let you go.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Well, I wanted to say that I find that veterans, we always find a way. We may not have the answers, but we will find a way and we will adapt. It doesn't matter what the obstacle is. We will. That's what I love, and that's what I think that I bring to the table.
Yeah, and I just think when you're in your military days and you've had those challenging experiences where you had to get that intestinal fortitude and pull yourself up and really just you have to keep going. There's no other way. You just can't stop. And so I believe having that military experience when life gets hard, you just rely on that because it's like using that muscle. It's always there. And it's the thing that makes you, my favorite saying from my dad is you fall down 7, get up 8. It's the thing that makes you get up yet again to say, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna win at this, entrepreneur program. I'm gonna do it.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. We do have a question in the chat. I'm going to ask it. I'm going to jump in with my response first while giving you both time to think on it for a second. What strategies have worked for creating long-term partnerships or corporate collaboration for experiential businesses? The example provided here is like a mobile lounge, luxury brands. But I'm thinking about creating long-term partnerships or corporate collaboration. One of my biggest recommendations that I can make is to be where they are. That doesn't mean you're maybe picking up and relocating to Bentonville, Arkansas, if you're looking to be in Walmart. But where is Walmart at? Are they at, CPG conferences? Are they participating in roundtable events, maybe in your local community? Being visible and reaching out to be where they are is definitely important. We do have people, I use Walmart as an example because I was just talking about them as we talked about the Veteran Edge planning. So we see a lot of our corporate partners are coming out to Veteran Edge. It's our place that we'd love to bring them all together. They're bringing buyers with them. They're bringing supplier diversity representatives with them. We have our great VSO partners who are there. You're going to see people from NVSBC. I'm trying not to speak too quickly in my acronyms, even though I know you all know them. NVSBC, Novoba, Wounded Warrior Project, and others who participate in these programs as well. So if you just get out there virtually, in person, it can be both, and be where they are, you're going to start resonating more clearly with them. So you're not just a random email. You're not just another cold email to a post they might have had. They can make that connection to you. And I think being where they are is very important. So Stephanie, I'm going to hand it over to you next. Do you have any particular strategies that you have experience with that have worked for creating long-term partnerships or corporate collaboration?
I think you hit on a good point about being there. There's something different with just seeing somebody face to face versus just an email or, because there's not as much emotion into that. So I feel like it is really important to connect with somebody in, face to face. I've met people at Edge and different groups, and I still stay in contact with them. We schedule weekly or bi-weekly meetings, and I think it's important to do that.
It's a great one. Thank you. Gigi, anything from you?
Oh, absolutely. I guess I'd like to begin with just talking about how important networking is. Two books I want to throw out there for you that are really great. I can't think of who the first author is, but the book is called The Power of Who. And that talks about how when you need something, you need to know who to ask. And the most important part is when you're affiliated with IVMF, you can pick up the phone and ask the question. Melissa, what's the name of the mentoring program? It's not O2O, is it? No, I can't think of what. There's a
Nope, that's the
mentoring
employment
program.
side. We
Right,
do
right.
mentoring through Veteran Edge. We'll have one-on-one mentoring sessions.
Yeah, so the mentoring program, you get a mentor, you get someone that you can, when you're having, you feel like you're stuck and at a crossroads, you can actually have someone help you through that and that's had the experience. And the other book I wanted to also throw out there by Damon Johns is called The Power of Broke, maybe. Yeah, I think that it's called The Power of Broke. I'll have to look that one up. I'll look it up and put it in the chat. But that one also teaches you how to bootstrap. So they're very helpful when you're starting off in your business where, yeah, sometimes you're going to need capital, but sometimes you got to just figure it out. And the other thing is Melissa was talking about the partners that come that want to bring your business in, like Walmart and things like that, are very important. Um, I am a huge proposal writer and I solicit, if you will, my services to so many people. But I look on LinkedIn. Who do I need to know? Who can I create a relationship with? Who can I create a very important proposal to? My goal is if I see a need, I want to fill that need. And so what I'll do is I'll create a proposal and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking we can do together. Can we hop on a call to talk about it? And I actually get meetings that way. So be creative in how you do those things.
Those are both great pieces of advice to put out there. Thank you for that. I think we have a common theme of being a little more vulnerable and sharing in this opportunity. And just remember that you're not alone in this. Entrepreneurship can feel very lonely. It can just feel like you're the only one that has this challenge. You're the only one that's gone through this, that you don't know who to turn to. There are a lot of resources available, whether it's through the IVMF, the SBA, or like your local SBDC or VBOC, again, with all the acronyms, or Hello, or military organizations, whatever it might be, let us know. Let us know what challenges you might be running into. You can reach out to Linda, Cassandra on our alumni team. Is it IVMF alumni at syr.edu, I believe? Yes, thank you. You can reach out to anyone on the entrepreneurship team. We all talk, we all chit chat. I might be halfway across the country from Linda, but she and I connect regularly. So if you have a question, reach out and we can help get you that answer that you need. I am going to go ahead and give one more question out. We're going to do a little wrap up here. And then we will get on with, actually, I have two questions because I just thought of another one. So I'm going to do two questions real quick to wrap this up. If you, maybe it could be the same one. So what's one thing that you wish more veteran entrepreneurs knew or understood about scaling to make their journey easier? And then the second part, which could be like a 1B, is if you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice before you scaled that you wish you would have known, what would it be? Okay, so it was one thing you wish more veteran entrepreneurs knew or understood about scaling to make their journey easier. If you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice when you were at the early stages of scaling, what would it be? So it could be the same thing, it could be slightly different. Gigi, I'll start with you on this one.
Thank you for starting with me just because my memory is like, wait, what's the second one? You so that's very helpful. Thank you with that. Okay. Let's see. So the first one is be appreciative of the slow and steady process. I once worked with an organization and we obtained new business and it was so much, we grew so fast that it failed because we didn't have time to put the systems and processes in place. It failed over time, but it was a hot mess from the beginning because we ended up with like 5 counties to operate and run with like a very small skeleton crew. And so we scaled too fast. Slow and steady is the best way to scale if you're lucky. And you don't always get that luxury, but that's a good thing. What was the second part of that, Melissa?
A piece of advice when you were at that early stage, which could be the same thing that you were just mentioning. What would you share with another entrepreneur who might be at the start of their scaling journey?
Oh, I would just say, I think the biggest piece of advice I have on that is understand how you measure success. A lot of people equate success with revenue, but success also means you're serving the purpose that you actually created your business for. So you have to really determine what constitutes success for you. So that's what I'll leave with it with that.
Great points. Thank you for that, Stephanie.
I think mine would be the same. My advice I would give and what I wish I knew, I wouldn't second guess myself. I would know that, okay, it is nerve-wracking, it is very scary, but just believe it in yourself, because that's just part of the process. And looking back, you'll just see how far you've came.
Very cool. Thank you both very much. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak with both of you. I know that I get the opportunity to see you every now and then, but this was very much a pleasure for me to hear a little bit more about your journeys and sharing some of those tough points that you've been through and how you've navigated the waters and powered through them. Linda, I will hand it over to you to close us out.
Oh, thank you so much, Melissa, for all of that. And thank you, Gigi and Stephanie. I think this was so insightful. So you will see a survey pop up when you leave. If you can please complete that, that would be great. I'm also going to send out an email later this afternoon with the recording. So, and if you need anything at all, our email is in the chat. And again, thank you, everybody. This was really, really wonderful. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.